Good morning, everybody. I'm Larry Jacobs. This is Pre-K-12 Education Talk Radio, and it's November 15th, 2023, about a week and a day away from Thanksgiving. All right, pretty cool when you think about it already. Wow, amazing. Okay, so I hope everybody's got their plans together. They're expecting more people flying on airplanes than ever, so it's going to be wild time, but that's a week away. Today we have for you a terrific show with some wonderful guests. Gina Warner is here. Gina is the CEO of the National Afterschool Association. Okay, she's president as well, and she's going to tell us all about that group and how important it is. Because, well, I don't have to tell you, you're all educators. And Eric Patnoudes is here. Eric is the Senior Manager of Social Impact Partnerships at my good friends Discovery Education. And I have the lineup what the show is going to be about. We're going to talk about how the National Afterschool Association and Discovery are working with Dollar General. Yeah, where all those stores are, Dollar General. They are excellent. They are so concerned about literacy. Okay, they have devoted thousands upon thousands of dollars, probably millions, okay, to literacy. And they work in partnership with other groups like the National Afterschool Association, this is Dollar General, and Discovery Education, okay? And in fact, Discovery and Dollar General, their literacy foundation, created an initiative which is called Discover Literacy. This literacy thing is huge, and working as a partner with them is the National Afterschool Association. So we've had Dollar General on the show here before. Now we have some of the partners working with them on Gina and Eric. Okay, so that's the way that's the way I'm going to preface the show. I hope you go over to ace-ed.org. That's where we're going to archive this show. All of our podcasts are archived over there. It's the home website of our Consortium for Equity in Education. Please go over. Everything's free. Our magazine is over there, Equity and Access Pre-K-12, as well as our Excellence in Equity Awards program, as well as all the podcasts. So check it out. It's free, ace-ed.org. And without further ado, let me bring on my guest. And I think I forgot to say I'm Larry Jacobs. I actually forgot to say that. Did I say that? Gina, did I tell everybody I was Larry Jacobs?
You know, honestly, Larry, you got me so nervous when you started talking about Thanksgiving, and I thought about all the things I haven't done. And maybe you did that to yourself, too. You were stressing us out.
Call me Larry, Gina, and good luck with the turkey, okay? Really.
Yeah, thank you. I need it.
Wow. Yeah, it's, well, everybody's going to get their act together next week. You'll see. It'll all come together. Where are you today, Gina? Where are you?
So, I'm in Northern Virginia, right outside of Washington, D.C. Look, it's a beautiful day outside. The leaves are falling very quickly. But, yeah, a great place to be coming to you from today.
It is indeed. I live up in Maine, and most of the leaves are down. I'd say 95% of them, obviously, where it's a little colder up here. Okay, and we keep getting frost every morning these days. You're a long way from that down in the D.C. area, I can tell you that, Gina. And let me say hello to Eric, then I want to get back to Gina. Eric, how are you today?
Hey, I'm good, Larry. How are you?
I'm fine, man. Okay, it's good to have you here again. You're the senior manager. I want to get over this with you. The senior manager of Social Impact Partnerships at Discovery Education. Yes, and I got to say this, Discovery does a lot of work in curriculum and materials. Everybody knows that. Just talk about the social impact partnership part, which is what we are talking about kind of today in your work with Dollar General and how you guys are doing this. Eric, talk.
Of course. Yeah. So
yeah, do it. Greg.
Well, so Discovery Education, we have several partners on the corporate side that want to have an impact on the world. Some people will call it corporate social responsibility. I think today it's being more commonly referred to as social impact. So we partner with these organizations to create content that aligns with their mission and vision, and then our amazing team of our video team, our graphics team, our web design team, our curriculum teams, we all come together to create this content, and then we make it available at no cost for educators and students around the world.
That's great. It's great stuff. And you want to just talk a little bit, I don't know why you want to do this right now, but I just to carry through on that with Dollar General. Okay, you work with the literacy, with their literacy foundation. I want to say it again. I've done shows with Dollar General, thanks to you guys, and I learned a lot. Okay, how involved they are in education. They really are. Okay, I
They're doing
really
some
hand
amazing.
it to them. They stand up for it, man. They're doing something. Okay, just talk about
they're doing some amazing work.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, of course. So there's a really cool background story about this. The gentleman that founded Dollar General, I believe he only had a third grade education, and he was functionally illiterate. And so 30 years ago, the Dollar General Literacy Foundation was formed, and since then, they've funded dozens of initiatives to not only close the literacy gap for adults but also for students. And so when they came to us and said, hey, we want to really have an impact in education, we see the literacy gap has even widened even more since COVID. Students are behind grade level. They said, hey, what can we do? What do educators and students need the most to start to close that or bridge the literacy gap? And so one of the things that we really excel at is professional learning or professional development. So we partnered to create a series of short, easy to use, timely, relevant, what we call micro-learns. And they're like 6 to 8 minutes long. And the idea is really to, one, upskill teachers with these research-based supports, provide them with some tools and some lessons. They're not just for educators, though. They're also for folks who work in the after-school space. And we brought on Gina from the National Afterschool Association. And then her organization also helps us to upskill those folks who work in an after-school setting so that, we have amazing volunteers who come in and work with students after school. But how do we know, that they have a foundation in literacy? A lot of them,
that's right,
not necessarily are literacy experts like they would be in the classroom, but they love working with kids. They have an understanding of literacy, and this is an opportunity to kind of upskill them just a little bit more so that they are really having an impact with these students that they see every day.
And it's a good thing. You're absolutely right. A lot of people want to and do help kids all day long, but they don't have the pedagogical training. They don't have teacher training,
Correct.
so to speak. Their goals and their hearts are good, okay? But it's great to go and help them, which is thank you, Eric, and it's a good segue back to Gina. Gina, brag a little. Tell us about the National Afterschool Association generically, and then tell us how you're working with Discovery and how you're working with Dollar General.
Yeah, well, thank you, Larry. It's such a pleasure to be here with you, and I want to thank you for really creating this platform and this
my pleasure.
To talk about education and also this opportunity for me to get to talk about the importance of after school and its role in learning for young people.
Yep.
So the National Afterschool Association, I have the honor of representing over 30,000 adult professionals who work in after-school programs all over the country, providing learning opportunities for young people. Almost every day in my work, Larry, I meet adults who share with me the amazing and impactful experiences they had themselves in after-school programs. And they can often directly trace back to that experience, a skill or a talent, that they take with them to this day. Maybe it's something they feel like they learned about being part of a team, or some creative pursuit that they still enjoy in their spare time. And a lot of people are surprised to learn that kids spend less than 20% of their waking hours in a classroom. Yeah. And so that leaves a lot of time for so much more. And we call that time the hours of opportunity. And that's where after school comes in. We're a place for children to learn, to grow, and to develop. And when we're talking about an issue like literacy, and we're considering the importance of developing those crucial literacy skills, particularly in our young learners, then after school becomes the perfect place to build on and extend the learning that's happening in the classrooms. And we believe, and the research tells us, that with the right skills and the right tools, after-school professionals can provide those high-quality learning experiences for kids and help them build and strengthen their literacy skills. Our professionals, they are highly skilled in what we call positive youth development, so they know how to interact with children and how to bring out the best that children have to offer. And partnering with Discovery Education and Dollar General, giving them those right tools, Eric mentioned, really going deep into what it takes to provide high-quality literacy, a love of reading. I mean, that's a key piece of it, right? And then to overlay that with critical literacy skills, that's going to put them on the path to success. So we're really excited to be a part of this work, have been partners with Discovery Education and Dollar General individually for a number of years, and then coming together on this project. Yeah, really excited about it.
It's a good group, and I want to ask you, okay, and I was a teacher for years. I taught secondary school. And really, this was way back when. This was before the actual afternoon had been invented. It was so long ago. There were only mornings. Okay, it was terrible. That was a joke. I was not that old. Okay, that was a joke. Everybody laughed. Okay, now, okay, Gina, I swear I was born when there were afternoons. Okay, now I got to ask you a question. Okay, you're right. How do you work? This to me is key. How do you guys work? I'm going to ask you who all those professionals are, but how do you work with school districts to make sure that they understand the great work you guys do and all the after-school opportunities that are out there for their kids? And by the way, not only can those kids learn, they can also stay out of trouble and be taken care of. I think that's incredibly important with all the work, all the organizations you guys work with. But how do you liaison with school districts? Because I worry that not enough school district teachers really know what's going on. And my other question is, a lot of it tends to be elementary school, okay? And the secondary school it may not be thinking about it as hard as the elementary. I don't know. Just talk about that, the relationship the National Afterschool Association has with public school districts. That's
You mentioned, we're talking about learning, but you mentioned two other important things that happen after school. Kids stay safe, and parents have a huge peace of mind, working parents, knowing that their kids are taken care of in those after hours. So those are two, along with the learning and the development, those are two really important factors also that speak to the value of after school. So more than 70% of our after school programs are actually located in public schools. Doesn't mean they're necessarily run by public schools, but they're located there. And we think about like the ease of transportation, for parents, like for a child to be able to stay in the same place, for parents to come and pick them up after work. That's huge. Transportation is a big barrier to a lot of kids being able to participate. So that's why we do see so many programs located in schools. And I think all of us, and I was a former teacher myself, Larry, I think all of us who are committed to education know that we can't only ask the schools to do everything, right? That this requires, true before the pandemic, exponentially true now, right? This is an all hands on deck issue. And so I think, principals who care about learning, who care about school performance, those are some of the factors that they're held accountable for, right? But who actually just really care about the well-being of their kids and their families are looking for high-quality after-school partners to come in and to provide those services, for the learning of their benefit of their children, for, again, the opportunities it provides to their parents to know that their kids are somewhere safe. So that's really where we've had a lot of success. I think just that appreciation and understanding that it takes everyone coming together to do this work. And I think, that's where we see the greatest success. And we also have, all around this country, even here where I live in Fairfax County, we see great school-based programs and we see great community-based programs. We have a lot of programs operating near multifamily housing development. So, I think wherever kids are, that's where we want to have these learning opportunities. And I think, we have years of research, we've been formalized as a field for going on, 4 decades now. And now reams of research that shows, we are providing, those benefits that we know are necessary.
Without question, you are. And I want to ask, this is another question. Thank you, Gina. And I want to ask you, okay, who are, just name a few, who are we talking about? Your members, who are we talking about?
Yeah, so you probably know a lot of big names. Yeah, like YMCAs and Boys and Girls Clubs, Girl Scouts, 4-H. But then we also have a number of, faith-based programs, community-based organizations. We have programs operating at parks and recreation centers. Like you said, we also do have school districts in urban, suburban, and rural communities, that's where our programs are all over the country. So, your typical after-school professional is someone. A lot of people are surprised to learn that a majority of our after-school professionals actually do have degrees. I think there's a misperception that it's an undegreed field, but greater than 65% of people who work in our programs do have college degrees. They come from a number of disciplines, right? So they might not be pure, maybe education degrees. They might be sociology. They might be recreation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We do have a number of colleges that do offer youth development programs, so we see those growing every year. And so they are people, and it's interesting. Years ago, I worked in a community that had a lot of educational disparities, had a lot of Teach for America kids coming in, and they found that they loved working with kids. They didn't love the formality of a classroom, right?
Yeah,
so they
exactly.
gravitated toward careers in after school and youth development. So, so we have a really great, committed and diverse and highly trained workforce supporting our
over
field.
30,000 good people in the association, and there's more in there. I hope they join in too. And one of the things that and again, taking care of the kids, keeping them out of trouble, etc. But learning can be all day long. Okay, I don't mean 24/7. You need to relax and have some fun too, and go to sleep. But learning can happen outside of school, and I know this is part, Gina, of what you guys do. You're not only concerned about taking care of the kids; it's also the literacy factor. All right, reading, etc. Okay, and I'll swing back over to Eric. Eric, as you work with Discovery and as you work with the NAA National Afterschool Association, okay, what have you guys put together? Because again, the purpose is not just to take care of the kids in this case, and it's to have them try to learn something. Give the I'll call them the after school educators, okay, a way to some resources that they can use. Just talk about that side of it, Eric. What are they? What's going on? And again, I have it linked, but it's discoverliteracydg.com. Discoverliteracydg.com, like Dollar General. Okay, go ahead.
That's
I have it
right.
linked.
Yeah. So Science of Reading is a methodology for best practices in literacy instruction, right? And knowing what works for students and the areas that we things that would be phonological awareness, phonics, fluency, vocabulary, and reading comprehension. Those are the 5 big ideas that we focus on to help students be better readers. And so in going back to the idea of upskilling educators and people who work in an after-school environment, we've created these what we call micro-learn modules. And so for each of the 5 big ideas, there are 3 micro-learns. They're 6 to 8 minutes, and they're self-paced. So teachers we know they're just slammed, right? They don't have a lot of time. And so the idea of these is, one, like maybe an after-school situation, we're introducing these concepts. In a school environment, we're reinforcing these best practices. And ultimately, we're creating equitable access to professional learning and tools for under-resourced communities and educators. So teachers can then, we just created a series of explainer videos. So they're 1 to 2 minutes long that really introduce and draw people into that idea of, let's use one as an example, phonological awareness. So as someone who visits the site, I watch the explainer video, get a quick refresher. Yes, this is absolutely something that I can relate to. My students are, working to improve this skill of phonological awareness. Then they can go through a series of these 3 micro-learns, and that would be focused on some, like there's one on rhythm and rhyme, there's one on sound sequence, and there's one on sound manipulation. So the teachers are able to not only do the micro-learn, but I think the best part of this is that we provide strategies and activities that the teacher can go and use right away, right? This isn't a 45 to 60-minute long professional learning session. This is 6 to 8 minutes. Now take what you've learned, apply it in the classroom. We also provide not only the strategies and activities, but even a a resource that they can project in the front of their room. We provide handouts that can be printed and shared with the students. And then through that application of what they just learned, we know that these are based on best practices. They're going to have an impact on improving those literacy skills. So there's 15 total. Like I said, there's the 5 big ideas of, literacy instruction, and then 3 micro-learn modules for each one of those. So there's some really cool ways that they're being used. I mean, not only could people use them in a self-paced manner, but then there's literacy specialists who are taking these micro-learns, and one way they could do it is providing badges. So these digital badges has become a big, a big thing in education.
They have.
So imagine, this literacy specialist knows the teacher, knows what their students need to work on, and then when a teacher completes these micro-learns, they issue a digital badge for professional learning, and then they're able to track their progress throughout the school year and know that, Mrs. Johnson in first grade has completed these micro-learns. We know exactly where she's at. We're differentiating our professional learning. We're helping Mrs. Johnson grow.
It's good. It's really cool stuff, and it brings me back to the Gina side. Gina, okay, what's the coordination? This is a key thing between use of this type of technology and resources and all that, and your group. Okay, I'm talking about the coordination of learning. Okay. Right. For example, if you've got people after school who are really doing a great job, and I know you do. Okay, and they're working with the kids and they're helping the kids. Do they ever report back to the teachers? What's the feedback link? I don't know how to ask the question, but how are the two communicating with each other? The public school, you know what I mean.
Yeah, I think where you see the most success is where you do see an after-school team that is in communication with a school team, whether it's at the leadership level, often in a lot of schools you'll see it's often an assistant principal or something who might be designated as the liaison, with the after-school program, and they're not only, they're sharing learning struggles about individual students, and the best case scenarios we're seeing them actually sharing data, about where kids do this. And that's not. I don't want to sugarcoat that. That's not easy, right?
It's not easy. But it brings up a great point in this day and age with all the technology, if I may. Okay, data transfer, serious, safe data transfer. Okay, is if I may, a hell of a lot easier than it used to be. Okay, instead of writing out a note, you can click a thing on the screen and send it instantaneously. And the coordination of and I know it's out there, of your group, and I know it's hard to do, by the way, back to the educators, I think is really kind of a cool and fun thing. Okay, and I think it's, and you know this. I mean, I'm not telling you anything you don't know, but it just has to be. And I think the teachers have to be very aware of what's going on after school. Yeah. Okay, and this is a good way to keep them aware. Yeah.
I don't think you'll meet many teachers who don't want more opportunities for their kids, right? Who don't recognize that there are other people, who can help their kids learn and want that to happen. So I think even where we might not see the, seamless or transparent data sharing, a lot of anecdotal, sharing around
Nothing
this kid's struggling,
that.
this kid needs help with that, absolutely. And so I think, where that happens, that's where you really see the greatest success. And Eric said 2 things that I think are so important about these tools that they've created. And, when I talked about, I said it takes, the right train, the right tools. To us, I get approached by a lot of companies, a lot of corporations, a lot of curriculum developers who come to after school and say, we've created this, and we think your student, we think your members would like it and like to use it for their kids. And I'm like, who are you? Like, what do you know about our field? What do you know? Maybe you're an educator. Maybe you have a lot of letters behind your name or something, but you need to understand, how our field operates, everything from so much even the cadence of how an after-school program works. And so, we've worked with, and that's why I so much appreciate about this partnership with Discovery Education and Dollar General.
They're good.
These short learnings, things that are easily transferable that educators can put into practice the very next day. Those are all markers of products and tools that we know will be successful with our members, because we understand how they need the learning to happen, what the reality of their day, of their afternoon, of their evening is like. And so just really appreciate, the willingness of them to work with us and understand what it is our members are looking for and what they need, so that we can really deliver for the kids we all, are committed.
And that's a great point. There has to be coordination between what your members want and what they can do, and all the resources, et cetera, that a group like Discovery is creating and like Dollar General is funding. Okay, I think it's really kind of an interesting what do you call it, triangle there, just really, really cool. Okay, you're going to have one. I just want to hear this. I want to hear a good, fun success story with the National Afterschool Association, so the teachers can get a good hit, all our listeners. Okay, of what really transpires. What's a favorite success story?
Yeah, gosh, it's hard to pick just one.
Well, pick
but
two.
I think about,
then do two.
I know, right? But I have to pick just one.
Do two. Do two.
Thinking about this program that I was exposed to the other day that had, and I think, this is, the great thing. I want to say one thing, Larry, that I think will really appeal to you as a secondary teacher. The beauty of after school is that it's a place where kids can't fail. And that means
great.
A little bit in elementary school, but that really means a lot as kids get into middle school and high school, right? As, they feel pressure around academics, and a lot of times kids won't even try something, whether it's a harder class or something, if they know they're not going to get a good grade in it, right? And so that just limits a lot of options. So after school is that place where they can try it out without any fear of failure. So in a program the other day where a young girl was, having some hands-on learning, building something, and so her first conversation was, I didn't even know that I liked this. So that was So she was exposed to something that she didn't even know I didn't even know if I like this. She was building, some things. It was a STEM-focused program, and then she's like, and then by the end of the time, she's like, and now I want to do this. I want to be this. And I think that to me just embody the beauty of after school, like to let kids see, number one, experience things that they might never have the opportunity to do in their classroom, in their home, in their community, right? Bring that to them. Let them see if they like it, and, best case scenario, they do like it, they love it, and then begin to live that and feel that and have an identity created to that. That's really, I think, just, what really powers, those of us who work in this program to give kids that opportunity. Yeah. Yeah,
it's what you said, and you used the word a few minutes ago, it's anecdotal, but it's so important. That's what it's all about. Mm-hmm. That's what it's all about, This is great. Okay, I'm so glad you guys are doing this and putting this together. I just think it's terrific, so I got to thank you. Eric, thanks for coming back on, buddy. You're welcome here anytime.
It's always good to talk to you, Larry.
Yeah, it's great to have you. Where are you today, by the way? Are you in Maryland? Where are you?
I'm about an hour west of Chicago.
An hour west of Chicago. Which town?
In Oswego.
Oh, okay. I know Oswego.
Yeah, we're not too far from Naperville.
I do.
A lot of people know Naperville.
Yeah, near Naperville, right? Did you say near Naperville?
Yes. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, okay, cool. I used to live in Deerfield. I know the area. Okay.
Oh,
and
yeah,
Gina,
okay.
And Gina, you have a great time. Okay, I thank you for all the work you're doing. You're doing a great job.
Thank you. Good luck with that turkey, Larry. Yeah.
Oh, let's go for it. All right, I'm ready to boogie. Okay. Thank you, Gina.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Eric.
Thanks, guys.
Take care, guys.
We'll talk to you later.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Right, bye.
Good stuff, ain't it, folks? I got to tell you, just be aware of all the things that are out there. And you can certainly go to I have it linked, the National Afterschool Association, and find out what's going on. When you leave at the end of the day, which I know is a longer than ever day, okay, a lot of your kids can still learn and do all that. Coordinate, get in touch. It's good stuff. And Discovery's out there working with them. And I'm going to say it again, Dollar General's Literacy Foundation, they take this seriously. Check it all out. Again, it's all linked here. Okay, we're going to archive at ace-ed.org. I'm Larry Jacobs. Thank you for listening.